Hello everyone, welcome to Malleus Gaming. I'm your host Malleus, and today we're going to be taking a look at using terrain to grant yourself an advantage in battle, while simultaneously turning your opponent's strength into a weakness. In particular, I'll be showcasing a battle as the High Elves, with a focus on the White Lions of Chrace, I believe it's pronounced, against a cavalry-heavy Tomb King's army. Before we begin, if you enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help out the channel. And with that, let's get to it. This battle was from a recent High Elf campaign that I had been going through and was an encounter I had with the forces of the Exiles of Nehek on very hard campaign and battle difficulties. Since I like to theme my armies, I had a Chracian Warhost themed list with a heavy emphasis on White Lions and Chariots. I know White Lions in-game aren't exactly the best, and certainly not at the level they should be when compared to their tabletop counterparts, but I wanted to see how far they can go with the additional buffs provided by the special White Lion Legendary Lord available to Lothern. My army consisted of Alistair the White Lion, who I renamed to Corhill based on the tabletop character, mounted on a lion chariot, a Handmaiden of the Everqueen, a Shadow Mage, the Puremain Company Regiment of Renown, 5 units of White Lions, 7 units of Archers, 2 units of White Lion Chariots, and 2 units of Warlines, one of which was the Rahagra's Pride Regiment of Renown. I also had some reinforcements from the nearby settlement I was defending, consisting of 2 units of Spearmen, 3 units of Archers, and 2 units of Lothern Seaguard with shields. The Exiles of Nehek were coming in with an army led by a Tomb King, who I assume was on a chariot. I don't recall seeing him in the battle. A Lich Priest, a unit of Tomb Guard with halberds, 2 units of Standard Tomb Guard, a unit of Skeleton Archers, 4 units of Chariots, 3 units of Nehekaran Horsemen, 2 units of Necropolis Knights, a Hydra Titan, a unit of Ushabti, 2 units of Sepulchral Stalkers, and a unit of Ushabti with bows. To say I was concerned for my elves would be an understatement. The Tomb Kings had a lot of fast, hard-hitting, large units. Their chariots, cavalry, monsters infantry, and the actual monster would do a horrendous amount of damage against the White Lions forming my melee line, who do not have any form of charge defense against large targets to help them absorb the enemy's charge. Going into this, I was hoping to use numbers to my advantage and try to swarm their units when my reinforcements showed up. However, once I saw the map, my plans changed. Due to the extensive forest covering parts of the map, I realized I could use this to heavily tilt the battle in my favor. The majority of my army suffered little to no penalties for fighting in woods, thanks to the Woodsman and/or Strider special rules, while the majority of the Tomb King's army were large units and so would suffer combat penalties in the woods, I believe something like minus 20% to their speed and melee attack characteristics. They wouldn't be able to hit my forces as hard as they would be able to on the open ground, and so I decided my best course of action would be to engage them in the forest, where I'd be able to blunt and absorb their charge, then allowing my high-strength armor-piercing White Lions to tear them down, all while my archers provided supporting fire from the rear lines. Now, into the woods we go. Alright, so here we are. I've got a themed High Elf list based off of the White Lions of, I think is it Chrace? Is it Chrace? I don't know, C-H-R-A-C-E. You guys let me know. I've got the special character, holy crap, these guys move quickly. I've got the special character Alistair the White Lion, who I've renamed into Corhill Lionmane, based off of the actual tabletop character. Right off the bat, we've got some Skeleton Chariots being intercepted by 2 units of White Lions, 1 regular one and 1 Regiment of Renown, Rahagra's Pride. They're going to be tearing these up. They have anti-infantry bonus, so not really useful against the chariots, but the chariots are in woods, and the lions suffer no penalties, so they're doing quite well against them. We got more chariots coming in to support, but they're not really going to help a whole lot. My main High Elf army. This is the thing. I redeployed off into these woods because my army, that's really loud, my army is primarily, like the line infantry is White Lions. Ooh, we got a very nice spell off there. Pit of Shades? I think that's Pit of Shades. Doing some good damage against the Necropolis Knights. So yeah, I've redeployed into the woods. My army is mainly White Lions, so no spears, no anti-large, no anti-large charge defense. Let's see, the Tomb Kings are sending Nehekaran horsemen, chariots, Necropolis Knights around, although the Necropolis Knights are very damaged. The reason I sent my guys off into these woods is because out in the field, out in the open ground, I think the Tomb Kings would have just ran over my units no problem. Ooh, we got some Corporal Stalkers firing into my guys. The trees are giving me cover. White Lions don't really take any combat penalties in the forest. My archers in this rear line are being attacked. And one of the units is taking some significant fire. Let's quickly check my chariots here. Yeah, spoilers, I totally misplayed these guys, and they just kind of got stuck in combat for this rest of the game. The regular White Lions kind of save them, but I don't do a good job playing with the chariots here. The main action is over here. My reinforcements are coming in, relocating them. My White Lions are doing a good job holding the line. Again, ooh, not a Pit of Shades. I love seeing that effect go in against the Tomb Guard with halberds. Taking significant damage. Look at that. Okay, I got reinforcing spearmen coming in. Tomb King healing kicking off. We got a enemy Hero Titan, Pyro Titan, in. He's gonna be doing a lot of damage. My White Lions, I think, do have a little bit of anti-large bonus, thanks to some upgrades from Warhill, special lines, ability traits, or whatever. So yeah, as I was saying before, if I fought this out in the field, the Nehekarans would have just plowed right through my White Lions. They had lots of cavalry, lots of monstrous infantry, lots of monstrous cavalry, chariots. But by deploying in the woods, I'm basically robbing them of their biggest strength. And I'm playing to my own. It does kind of limit me to being stuck in this one location. My archers are... they've been attacked by cavalry, but I guess due to the combat malices that the cavalry suffer in the woods, they're really not doing a whole lot. I figured that archer line would have been, what is that? Is that a banishment? I figured my archer line, like, should have been routed because I had the cavalry coming in on its flanks, but they are just doing well. Let's see, White Lions are still 42, though they'll take a lot of damage. They are taking damage, but they are punching way above their weight, I would say. These Tomb Guard with halberds. I got these reinforcements on the side here. Archers taking some shots, but lining up to get some flank shots into these Tomb Guard. Tomb Kings are getting whittled away. Not too much left of the Hydra Titans. Got a Lich Priest riding around. Tomb Guard fading away. There goes the army. I believe everything's starting to fade out. Yep. Finally relocating my archers. Probably should have done that a long time ago. And there goes the rest of the Tomb King army. My chariots finally coming in, but there we go. Victory for the High Elves. Alright, so here we are after action battle report. Looks like I did lose a whole unit of archers, which kind of sucked. Losses of 550 models for me. The entire Tomb King army got wiped, as is the nature of the undead. They lose and they all crumble away. I don't I wouldn't say this was the most exceptionally fought battle, but I would say this is a good example of using the terrain to help negate the enemy's strengths, to basically to nullify your own weaknesses and take advantage of the enemies. As you can see, lots of cavalry on the Tomb King's side, lots of chariots, monstrous infantry, monstrous cavalry. Open battle, I would have been probably like wiped pretty much super quickly. With this battle, staying in the woods definitely saved my high elven bacon. The enemy cavalry charged in, their chariots, whatever, they all charged in. I think their charging bonuses and like their melee stats all got reduced for fighting in the woods due to them being large targets, large entities. While my own high elves, especially the White Lions, they thrive in the woods. They have the woodsman skill, so they get to move freely within forests, and they don't really take any combat penalties at all. So this let them basically absorb the enemy charge and then just whittle them away with their armor-piercing, high-strength melee attacks. I definitely could have like done more maneuvering, for sure, but overall, that felt pretty good. Overall, I remember in the campaign map, I was super worried about this fight because seeing all the cavalry and my lack of anti-large, yeah, I was thinking like that this is going to be a problem. But the terrain definitely helped. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to always do something like that. It is map dependent, but definitely keep your eye open for potential options. Keep an eye on the terrain, see what you can do to utilize that against your opponent. This is primarily campaign-based device, but proper utilization of the terrain can also help against a human opponent. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I personally was quite surprised at how well this battle turned out. The woods definitely robbed the Tomb Kings of much of their momentum, and let me turn what likely would have been a serious defeat for me had I fought them in the open into a much more decisive victory. While this was maybe more of an extreme example of how fighting in woods can aid you as compared to a more typical battle, I hope it at the very least gets you thinking about how you can use what terrain is available to you to help your forces in battle. Also, yes, I know I didn't really maneuver my army around a whole lot. Part of that was me trying and failing to micro my chariots and then not being able to straight up see a whole lot due to all the trees. Please let me know what else you'd like to see covered, or if you have any tips of your own. If you want to help the channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and turn on notifications to get this video out there within the warp-touched realm of YouTube. I hope you have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!